That's right, it's that time of year again. The ski resorts are blowing snow and they're getting this close to opening. Yeah, A Basin is already open and this video is out a little late, but I'm putting it out there anyway because I have this new drone and we have this gorgeous drone footage that I want to still share so that you can sort of see the process of how they do the steps to become open. I've already been to A Basin for opening day and that video should be up shortly, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Keystone is rumored to be opening on Halloween, so hopefully that'll come through, and I'm sure Loveland and everybody else will be joining the party shortly afterwards. Make sure to watch to the end where you can see all three of the mountains side by side in these little squares. It's really entertaining and interesting to see them that way. This year we have something a little different. We have the DJI Air3, which has a 3x telephoto lens, which is going to give us an advantage because we can really see a lot further without having to fly a lot further. It has a new ceiling cap which lets you go up to over 2,000 feet from takeoff point, where in the past it's only been up to 1,600 feet, which is going to help us to see higher up at Keystone. We have to take off from somewhere that you can legally take off. You can fly over them to some degree whenever they're closed because you're not flying over crowds. In this instance, we don't have to fly over them pretty much at all because of that telephoto lens, which goes up to a 9x digital zoom. And not only am I out here today doing this, but my buddy Jonathan Buckhouse, who does a snowboard only channel, so if that's all you care about, make sure you go subscribe to his channel, is gonna be out here throwing out some facts about these different mountains while we're doing it.
Did you know at Keystone you can eat a banana for breakfast?
You got a thing for bananas. So when I first moved here in 2017, A Basin typically was the first mountain to open until 2019. Keystone got this crazy snowmaking system. They spent like $4 million or some absurd amount of money that I don't know about you, but I'm never gonna have. Never say never though, right? And when they put that in, it changed the game and they were able to start competing to be one of the first mountains open with A Basin. It's usually either A Basin or Keystone. To me this year, we haven't had a lot of snow compared to the few years that I've lived here since 2017. So not only does it have that telephoto lens, this drone that we're using to do this, which lets us get in 3x and digitally zoom up to 9x to see stuff like the new lift that they're opening there on Bergman Bowl. It does go up to over 3,200 feet above takeoff point. Now that is typically what would be considered illegal when you're flying drones, but in this instance, because we're still like not even 100 feet over a mountain, we're still technically legally flying this drone. We're not flying from the grounds of the ski resort. We're not flying over crowds of people. We're not doing anything in national parks. You can fly in national forests, so don't let somebody tell you otherwise. Right now, looking at this footage, you can tell that the upper part of Keystone has much better coverage because as you drop down, it's got a lower base than A Basin does, and that is part of why Keystone only pumps out the snow really at the top and you go down to Montezuma Lift. As we're looking at this footage, you can see all the dirt areas that they're not bothering with trying to put snow on. Really what they're trying to do is get that snow from the top just to the bottom of Montezuma, and then you cycle that, and then to get back down the mountain, you take the gondola back down. Let's go check out A Basin. So this is A Basin, one of my favorite mountains up here. A Basin is unique, and that is saying it lightly. You got the east wall over here, which is just really awesome, and so much crazy terrain over on this side. And where they start blowing is really just from this lift here, and you can see where it comes down from Black Mountain Express over into this area here. So we just got out of the car and there's a ton of people here. I've never seen this many cars here before. I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna go find out. Maybe you guys know what everybody's gathered here for today? Oh, is the eclipse? Is today the eclipse today?
Today's the eclipse.
Oh, I forgot. I thought
You
it was...
hit it just right. It's about...
Oh, wow. That is dope. Now I know why. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it to work through the lens. How cool. I completely forgot that was today. Get a much better shot of it with a real camera than a GoPro. You gotta get out of the car. You gotta come see this. There's a total eclipse of the sun happening right now. Has nothing to do with the news crews. We just lucked out. Bonus footage. Let's get back to going to fly and look at A Basin snow coverage. So one thing flying up at A Basin is it's definitely colder because the base elevation is so much higher than Keystone's base elevation, which is why A Basin has that little bit of an advantage usually to win. Not with the widest run, but they do get open because you're able to go and then go down and go and go down, and you can ride down to your car, which is a benefit too, where at Keystone you have to unload usually. It reminds me a couple of years ago whenever Keystone announced that they were going to be first, and then then A Basin said, but we're gonna open today. Last second like that, just to try to open, and literally the run was maybe a little wider than the width of a car, because they just was like, we're just gonna push it together and make a little path down to the bottom. But they technically still won. This is a place that I have not flown, which is Loveland, and it is not as easy to get a good vantage point. In this instance, that 9x digital zoom is gonna be our friend. One, we don't want to fly over traffic, over the freeway. We don't want to fly over cars, crowds. And two, to get a good vantage point to do this, there's not one. So we're gonna do what we can and just get sort of a quick look at Loveland, and then we'll compare all the footage side by side by side by side. You know what, let's just do that now. Thanks again for watching this drone footage. That new drone really kills it. I'm going to be doing some great stuff with it over the winter, as well as with my other drones as we tackle some different mountain peaks and explore Colorado. Stay tuned. I am going down to Victor, Colorado to this haunted hotel, serial killer themed rooms. That will be its own video soon enough. And until then, I'll see you guys.